We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We heard how demigods are praising Brahma. O Lord, all these planets exist within yourself, and all the living entities are generated from you. Therefore, you are the cause of this universe, and anyone who meditates upon you without deviation attains devotional service, because he is secondary creator, so they are saying like this. There is no defeat in this material world for persons who control the mind and senses by controlling the breathing process, and who are therefore experienced mature mystics. This is because by such perfection in yoga they have attained your mercy. Yesterday we heard this verse. The example is Dhruva. He did asana and pranayama and controlled his internal and external senses, and then in that peaceful state he could meditate on Supreme Lord as described by Narad Goswami, and through that process he could ultimately already when doing meditation on Supreme Lord he got transcendental bliss, full satisfaction. And then also he got direct darshan. In front of him Narayan came. So that is, they are mature mystics, perfected. We can also, as I told yesterday, we can also now in Kali Yuga, by offenselessly chanting Harinam, we can get revelation of Krishna's transcendental name, that transcendental nature and form, attributes, associates and pastimes in a purified heart. We can see everything. That will be mature mysticism. Yasya vacha prajak sarva gavas tantyeva yantrita haranti balim ayatas tasmai mukhyaya te namah. All the living entities within the universe are conducted by the Vedic directions, as a bull is directed by the rope attached to its nose. No one can violate the rules laid down in the Vedic literatures. To the chief person who has contributed the Vedas, we offer our respects. From Brahma's forehead they came for Vedas, but they are eternal. They are not different from Supreme. They are his breathing. So Vedas have 3 stages. First is Karma Kant, rituals for gradual upliftment for those who are attracted by material benefits. Then Upanishads you will find. Gyan is prominent there. With Gyan comes renunciation and desire for liberation. And Vedanta Sutra also is explaining the Upanishads. And then ultimately it comes to Bhagavatam, that is the ripened fruit. Like the Vedas are bad, Vedanta Sutra is plant, and Srimad Bhagavatam is sweet fruit of prema, because Bhagavatam is only about pure devotion, very clearly. In Vedanta Sutra, Upanishad you will also find, but it is not so clear. And prominent is that Gyan. But in Bhagavatam, that is why Narad Goswami also chastised Vyasadeva. You did not clearly write, and you spoke about other motives in other scriptures, so that was wrong. And he said, then if someone else will speak about devotion, then people will not accept it, because you have given all the scriptures, Vyasadeva. So if it is not found in your scriptures, then they will not believe anyone. So you have to write it so that people will accept it. So then he wrote this Bhagavatam. But Brahma also is a pure devotee. You remember, he submitted himself to Supreme Lord, then he got that process from him and did it and got realization. In Brahma Samhita you will find here also in Bhagavatam. So we offer our respect. Sattvam vidhatsva sham bhumams tamasalupta karmanam adabra daya drishtya apanan arha sikshitum. The demigods prayed to Brahma, please look upon us mercifully, for we have fallen into a miserable condition. Because of the darkness, all our work has been suspended. Because demons, we heard, now demons, they will appear, so already the darkness come, so demigods took shelter here. Esha devaditer garbha ojah kashyapam arpitam dishas timirayan sarva vardate gnir iva idhasi. As fuel overloads a fire, so the embryo created by the semen of Kashyapa in the womb of Diti has caused complete darkness throughout the universe. See, even they did not take birth, already there was so much influence by demoniac mentality. That is Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu there in the womb. Maitreya Uvach. Sa prahasya mahabaho bhagavan shabda gochara pratya chashtatma burdevan prinan ruchiraya gira. Shri Maitreya said, thus Lord Brahma, who is understood by transcendental vibration, tried to satisfy the demigods, being pleased with their words of prayer. Brahmo Vach. Manasa me suta yushmat purvajah sanakadaya cherur vihaya salokal lokeshu vigata sprihah. Lord Brahma said, my four sons, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanat Kumar, who were born from my mind, are your predecessors. Sometimes they travel throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire. Ta ekada bhagavato vaikuntasya malanatmana yayur vaikunta nilayam sarvaloka namaskritam. After thus traveling all over the universes, they also entered into the spiritual sky, for they were freed from all material contamination. In the spiritual sky, there are spiritual planets known as Vaikuntas, which are the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His pure devotees, and are worshipped by the residents of all the material planets. That if you want to enter there, then you have to be fully pure of all these material designations, desires. That is supreme, means supreme for all other these planets. So they are all worshipping because they are like a servants of Vaikuntha. In that sense, they are worshipping. Vasanti yatra purushah sarve Vaikuntha murtayah Ye nimita nimitena dharme na radhayan harim. In the Vaikuntha planets, all the residents are similar in form to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They all engage in devotional service to the Lord without desires for sense gratification. Supreme Lord is in the center. Everyone is serving Him. That is the target of everyone. In different love relations, there is no clashing because there are no ulterior desires. In this world also, we cannot get unity among devotees if there are some other anarthas still present. Then we cannot, but if there are no other desires, then everyone can harmoniously cooperate for the service of Krishna. There will be no clashing. In transcendental realm, for the sake of Krishna, there is some rivalry among servitors, but that is not bitter, it is sweet. Because that is not out of anarthas, but it is out of desire of Krishna to make such pastimes, to relish them. So that should not be mistaken for this. And also among pure devotees in this world, we may also see sometimes some pastimes that outwardly may look like disagreements or disputes like this, but that is also for the satisfaction of Krishna, so we should not commit any offense to any of them. Like in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur, he wrote about Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya, how they were disputing, and there he warned that pure devotees, like quarrels, they are for the satisfaction of Krishna, and one should not take side of one and criticize another. Then Krishna will be displeased. It is same in the case of Srila Prabhupada's, means Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur's God brothers. Outwardly, it may seem that they quarreled, but it was meant for some higher purpose, which was later on shown. What was the purpose? It was the desire of Prabhupada and also Gauranga Mahaprabhu to spread more. Even Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he sometimes spoke and wrote something against his God brothers, but inside he was always having full respect. That is why he sent his own disciples to them to be trained. And also at the end, he begged for forgiveness to all of them. And it was in my mind now. Yes, once some of his disciples, they start to also speak something against his God brothers. Then he became very angry. It is recorded, very angry. He said, that is not for you. All my God brothers are Vaikuntha men. This was the word he used for pure devotees, like for his Gurudev. When he first met his Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said he was a Vaikuntha man, pure devotee. So Sai Maharaj also, it is from his mouth. He said, all my God brothers are Vaikuntha men. If we quarrel among ourselves, that is our thing, not your thing, speaking to disciples. Because God brothers, they have different type of relation. Parvati also could not, means of course playing the pastime of not understanding. When Chitraketu Maharaj came to meet Shiva, they are also God brothers. So he said something in a joking mood and also out of compassion for Jivas. So Parvati played this pastime of thinking he's criticizing him. Chitraketu criticizing Shiva, and she cursed him, but Shiva said, no, you committed a mistake. We are God brothers. We have very intimate, friendly relation. He did not disrespect me. So, and he also told you, see, although you cursed him, but he has a power. He's a pure devotee. He has a power to counteract that curse, but he did not. He tolerated. So then, you know, so we have to be very careful with this. They all engage in Vaikuntha, or those who are on Vaikuntha consciousness, means pure devotees, they all engage in devotional service to the Lord without desires for sense gratification or for liberation, anything. Their only desire is to satisfy Krishna as per his desire. They are all inspired by him to serve him as he wants. That is, and also in transcendental realm, of course, there is hierarchy of servitors for the sake of lila. There is no like lower or higher in the sense of material calculation. They're all pure devotees, all perfected souls, but for the sake of lila, some are giving orders and others are serving in the in anugatya, in following, like this. So we have to be careful about Vaishnava Aparat. Many who did, means all who did that, Vaishnava Aparat ultimately got problem in their spiritual life. As a reaction, Krishna does not tolerate that. And through that, we can then learn we did wrong. Yatra chadyah puman aste bhagavan shabda gochara Sattvam Vishtabhya Virajam Svanam no Mridayan Vrisha. In the Vaikuntha planets is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original person and who can be understood through the Vedic literature. He is full of the uncontaminated mode of goodness, with no place for passion or ignorance. He contributes religious progress for the devotees. There you will find in Vedanta Sutra and also in Bhagavatam, so that Supreme Lord can be known only through revelation. It is impossible by our mental capacity, intellectual capacity to know anything about him. We are in total darkness. Only when he reveals himself out of his compassion for us, in the form of Vedic literature's description of him, or giving process how to attain him, gradual process, karma, Canto, all this, it all is meant to ultimately bring to him. And we can also understand him if we hear from his pure devotees, like Narad Goswami. He told to Dhruva, Prahlad, and others, to that hunter, that is by Guru Parampara we can know, only by Shastra and Guru Parampara, otherwise impossible to know. That is his mercy. Or from within heart, as Chaitya Guru, he may give some indication, direction, where, what to read, whom to meet, which pure devotee, in that way. And because he is Vishuddha Sattva, pure Sattva, not this material Sattva. This material Sattva is mixed with Rajas and Tamas, but that is Vishuddha Sattva. Shiva told in 4th Canto, Supreme Lord appears only in Vishuddha Sattva, because he is Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva consciousness, then Vasudeva. So, if we want to get darshan of Supreme Lord, it is possible only in sanctified heart. He may, out of his causeless mercy, sometimes give some glimpse of himself, even to those who are not yet fully on transcendental platform, but that is only to encourage them to go further in devotional service, like he did to Narad Goswami. Then Narad Goswami tried again, but could not get that darshan. And then he was very morose and he surrendered. Then Krishna told him now you are not yet fully pure, so you will not be able to see me. You go on doing your sadhana. When you will become fully pure, then you can see me. Yatra naik shreyasam anama vanam kama dughair drumai sarvartu shribir vibrajat kaivalyam iva murtimat. In those Vaikuntha planets, there are many forests which are very auspicious. In those forests, the trees are desire trees. And in all seasons, they are filled with flowers and fruits because everything in the Vaikuntha planets is spiritual and personal. Means everyone is a person there. Even dust particle is a person because consciousness means person. There, everything is made of consciousness. Consciousness means person, free will is there, and taste and everything. So these desire trees also in Shantarasa, they're persons. They can appear in this world and be like a human and speak Harikatha and go everywhere. Flute also appeared as Bhankshvadananda Thakur. Nothing is impersonal. And those desire trees, Kalpavriksha, some they think, oh, then very good, let us go there and we will desire things and it will be fulfilled. But those trees are not fulfilling any material desires like car or children or something, no. And no one who has any other desires except service of Krishna can actually come to Vaikuntha. Impossible, no one can enter. Even those who have no material desires, but they are liberated, but they have no desire to serve, it is impossible. So those desire trees there, they are fulfilling devotional desires for service of Krishna, not other desires. Srila Sridhar Maharaj told, like in this world, we may get passport from our country, but in order to enter another country, we need visa, and that visa is granted by that country. And they're granting that visa only to those who will contribute something to that country. For the benefit of that country, they are giving visa. Like that, we are marginal potency. That is, by our constitution, we have passport. We are not material, transcendental, but we have that potential for devotion, but we need grace of Swarup Shakti. All Vaikuntha planets are made of Swarup Shakti. All material planets made by Maya Shakti, all those are made by Swarup Shakti. So you need their grace. Grace of person associates of Vaikuntha Nath or Golokanath, Ayodhya Nath. All. You need their grace, that is like a visa. Then, only for the sake of serving Supreme Lord, you can enter there. Because there everything is made of higher substance than we are. Everything. So only through service we are allowed there. And that will be our home, natural function. So all the flowers and fruits and everything, it is meant for the service of Krishna. Not we'll go there, sit under a tree and desire sense enjoyment. That is not possible. Vaimanika sa lalanash charitani shashvat gayanti yatra shamala kshapanani bhartu Antarjale novikasan madhu madavinam gandhena kandita dhiyo pyanilam kshipantah. In the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes, accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally think of the character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of all inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming Madhavi flowers, which are fragrant and laden with honey. That is in Vaikuntha, because there is awe and reverence. There they have airplanes, but not in Vrindavan. There they are walking. And because that is simple village life, and sometimes on bullock carts, not airplanes. When Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, no, that was before he lifted. When on the order of Krishna they did Govardhan Puja, after that puja they did parikrama of Govardhan, and some, like gopis, they were on bullock carts following. The others were walking and they were on bullock carts, and elderly like this. So that is the only vehicle there. And of course, always in background in Vaikuntha or Goloka or transcendental realms, all the time, everyone, they're repeating the glories or name of Supreme Lord. In Vrindavan also, all are always chanting Harinam. As per their rasa, means eternal relationship, they are chanting particular songs or particular names of Krishna all the time, always in background. That is the first appearance through transcendental sound. That is first appearance, then it goes further, Rup, Gun, Lila. And while they are doing all seva, they are always chanting Krishna's name. So if you want to enter into that realm, first seva is, which already we get here, is to chant Krishna's name. That is first seva. That can take you inside. Then when Yashoda is churning milk, she's singing songs about Krishna. In gopis also, they're always singing and chanting. And in Vaikuntha also, with those hymns of praise, with awe and reverence, they're always doing. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita also, we find how Vaikuntha Vasis, they are praying, how in Ayodhya Hanuman is praying, and all there. Paravatanya Brita Sarasa Chakravaka Tatyuha Hangsa Shuka Titiri Barhinamya Kola Halo Viramate Chiramatra Muchair Bringadhipe Harikatham Iva Gayamane. When the king of bees hums in a high pitch, singing the glories of the Lord, there is a temporary lull in the noise of the pigeon, the cuckoo, the crane, the chakravaka, the swan, the parrot, the partridge, and the peacock. Such transcendental birds stop their own singing simply to hear the glories of the Lord. Temporary L-U-L-L. I have to see what is this word. 1 second. So here in Vaikuntha, Here it is written that bees, king of bees, hums. Then others will stop their singing to hear the glories of the Lord. But in Vrindavan, you hear during Kartik, Brinda Devi will engage birds of Vrindavan to sing, headed by Shuk and Charika parrots, female and male parrot, to make a sweet sound. They are also singing the glories of Krishna. They are not ordinary birds. That is Siddha Bhumika, perfected, transcendental plane. All are personal associates of Krishna, non-different from him, all transcendental. So they are singing the glories of Krishna and they are competing with each other. Very sweet competition. And by that, Radha and Krishna, they are awakened. Also, Kokoti, monkey, she also makes that sound, harsh sound, but it is pleasing to Krishna because it is with devotion to satisfy him. As a seva, she does, she, as a seva to Radha and Krishna. Lul, I don't know how it is pronounced. One second. Calm or send to sleep, typically with soothing sounds or movements, or a temporary interval of quiet or lack of activity. So when here the bees, the king of bees, sings the glories, then others will become silent and they will hear Harikatha. This word is here mentioned. Bringadipe Harikatam Ivagayamana. Here Sai Maharaj also used these words. Such transcendental birds stop their own singing simply to hear the glories of the Lord. That is why also when here in temple Harikatha is going on, then we have to be attentive to Harikatha. Sometimes we see that some are not paying attention, even speaking among themselves, or some guests. That is not proper. Immediately when some pure devotee sadhu will start to speak Harikatha, we have to remain silent and hear, not like with noise do so many things or speak. Sometimes or some other guests, they will speak, so you have to stop them. That will be seva to Harikatha and compassion for them, because if they will disturb Harikatha, it will be dushkriti to them, wrong activity. Or if some child, of course children are playful and they are not aware of their surroundings like this and they are making noise, not being aware of other things, but it is their parents' duty. If child becomes very restless and very loud when there is Harikatha, then it is the duty of parents to take him out, or either to silence him, and if they are not successful, to take him out. Otherwise, it will be bad for him because he's doing dushkriti. So to serve Harikatha, they have to remove, and also for his benefit. Mandara, Kunda, Kura, Botpala, Champakarna, Punaga Naga Bakulambuja Parijata Ganderchite Tulasika Baranena Tasya Yasmim Stapa Sumana Sobahu Manayante. Now in Vienna also we saw, because Janmashtami, so many people will come who are otherwise not coming and they are not so interested in Harikatha. So they're always making some noise and speaking among themselves, family. There's like a social event for them. So they're speaking. So you have to stop them for the sake of Harikatha. That is seva. But we have to gently, politely do, not with harsh or hostile hostility. Although flowering plants like the mandara, kunda, kurabaka, utpala, champaka, arna, punaga, naga keshara, bakula, lily, and parijata are full of transcendental fragrance, they are still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulsi. For Tulsi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulsi leaves. Tulsi is supreme. Narayani. We are singing Namo Narayani. She appeared in this world also to give us scope of service of Krishna. She's a pure devotee. We should not disrespect her or do some. There is offense to Tulsi also. And we should serve her. Yat Sankulam Hari Padanate Matra Drishter Vaidurya Marakata Hema Mayer Vimane Yesha Brihat Katitata Smita Shobi Mukya Krishnatmanam Naraja Adadhur Utsmayadyeh. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli. I don't know what is this. Emerald and gold. Although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. Some blue color precious stone. Here Sai Maharaj is explaining, although the women have large hips and beautiful faces and are decorated with ornaments of emeralds and jewels, the men are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that the beautiful bodies of the women cannot attract them. In other words, there is enjoyment of the association of the opposite sex, but there is no sexual relationship. The residents of Vaikuntha have a better standard of pleasure, so there is no need of sex pleasure. Here in this world, man, woman, they are mutually enjoying. There also there is a relationship, but it is centered on Krishna. They are together serving Krishna or Narayan. In that sense, there is a relationship. No any selfishness, because otherwise you cannot be in Vaikuntha. That is fully above Triguna. There is no lust, no nothing. There is only cooperation of service to Supreme Lord. Shri Rupini Kvanayati Charanaravindam Lilambujena Haris Sadmani Mukta Dosha Samlakshyate Spatika Kudya Upeta Hemni Samarjativa Yat Anugrahanenya Yatnah. The ladies in the Vaikuntha planets are as beautiful as the goddess of fortune herself. Such transcendently beautiful ladies, their hands playing with lotuses and their leg bangles tinkling, are sometimes seen sweeping the marble walls, which are bedecked at intervals with golden borders, in order to receive the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is one kind of ornament for ladies, to have lotus in their hand. Like Radharani is also having, and even now I remembered in Vienna, we had that drama of Putana coming to kill Krishna. So she also dressed herself very nicely, and she was also carrying lotus flower in her hand. So here also it is, I remember, here also it is mentioned, their hands playing with lotuses. Ladies in Vaikuntha. They're all transcendental. Like that worshipper of Ramchandra in South India, when Mahaprabhu came to his house, he was depressed, thinking how Ravan could kidnap Sita. Then Mahaprabhu said, Ravan cannot even see Sita, what to speak of touching her. Sita is transcendental, and Ravan is a lusty person, means Rajoguna, Tamoguna, that is Nirguna. So how he can, that was Maya Sita which he took. And he also later brought one scriptural evidence, I think from Kurma Puran, he brought him there. Then that Brahmin was pacified. So we should not think they are ordinary women of this world. It's totally different conscious, their conscious being, pure consciousness, and fully devoted to Supreme Lord. Everyone there, even thrown, seemingly inert like things, but they're all conscious persons. They are serving Supreme Lord. Vapishu vidruma tatashvamala mritapsu preshyanvitani javane tulasi birisham abhyarchati svalakam unasam ikshavaktram ucheshitam bhagavateti amatanga yachri. The goddesses of fortune worship the Lord in their own gardens by offering tulsi leaves on the coral-paved banks of transcendental reservoirs of water. While offering worship to the Lord, they can see on the water the reflection of their beautiful faces with raised noses, and it appears that they have become more beautiful because of the Lord's kissing their faces. That is also not like in this world. That is different. That is pure love. We cannot imagine by any kind of material experience in this world. That can only be revealed in a sanctified heart. It's totally different. If one gets contact with that kind of pure love, as in the case of like Raslila, it is written there, whoever will hear, means with firm faith and continuously and from bona fide source, then his lust will be destroyed. So it means that is not a lusty affair, it is transcendental pastime. Transcendental, so that will touch our heart. Then we will be released from all these last things, that hridrog kama, it is written in that verse. heart's disease, which is lust, that will be destroyed by coming in contact. But of course, we have to be careful how we approach those lilas, because of we should not misunderstand. So acharyas, they give caution and warning and proper procedure how we can attain that. First, we have to chant, hear the name and chant without offenses, then purification of heart, then form will appear, and ultimately lila will appear in our sanctified heart. Yan na vrajanti agha. Otherwise, opposite effect we may get. If we are not established in that firm faith that Krishna is the only enjoyer, His Supreme Lord, all we are to be enjoyed by Him. If someone is not established in that faith and also not hearing from bona fide source who will consider our adhikar, then opposite result, we will increase our lust. We will mistake that as some lusty affairs, but it is totally not. Yan na vrajanti agha. Like Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he did not even want to hear a name of a woman. But he was fully worshipping these transcendental pastimes of Krishna with the gopis, or Lakshmi Narayan. And Raya Ramananda also, he showed that pastime. He was training young ladies how to serve Jagannath by that play, so he was not overcome by any kind of lust, although he was bathing them, seeing them. So it is totally different thing. Even Shukadev Goswami, when he was passing one lake, their ladies, they were taking bath naked, but they did not feel any necessity of being shy or covering themselves, seeing Shukadev Goswami passing. Why? Because he was, like a Paramahamsa, fully on that transcendental plane, so they could sense he does not see any woman, man, this thing, and also he has no lust. He's beyond that. He was not attracted to anything in this world. He was fully Brahmagyani, impersonal that realization. But he became attracted to Radha Krishna Lila. How this is possible? Because that is transcendental. So you should not mistake. And should have service attitude to approach that, not enjoying. Then we'll get opposite result. And you also know Haridas Thakur. He was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That prostitute could not attract him. Although any man of this world would become attracted. But Haridas Thakur was established in transcendental relationship with Krishna and getting the transcendental bliss. So he even said, he could even control the situation. He even said to her, yes, I will be with you after I finish my fixed number, so you remain here. So in the dead of night, he was chanting in front of her. A young. So that is impossible if someone is not established in transcendence. And even Maya also, you heard. Maya Devi also wanted to attract, still Haridas Thakur was not attracted because attracted to Supreme Lord. So one who gets attraction to Supreme Lord genuine through service, he cannot be attracted to any worldly lusty affairs. Yan na vrajanti agha bido racha nanu vadach Chirinvanti yenya vishaya koka tha matigni Yastu Shruta Hata Bagir Nribir Atash Saras Tam Stan Kshipanti Asharaneshu Tamahsu Hanta. It is very much regrettable that unfortunate people do not discuss the description of the Vaikuntha planets, but engage in topics which are unworthy to hear and which bewilder one's intelligence. Those who give up the topics of Vaikuntha and take to talk of the material world are thrown into the darkest region of ignorance. Regrettable. Ambarish Maharaj, he engaged his tongue in speaking the glories of Vaikuntha, Vaikuntha Nath, and devotees, and his ears to hear Harikatha all the time. And he also made it compulsory in his kingdom, everyone should hear Harikatha. So because they were all hearing Harikatha, they got transcendental bliss and they were not interested in anything else, even not going to heavenly planets. Generally, like householders, they want to go to heavenly planets, but they had no such desire, already got higher taste. And the Rupa Goswami, he said, Atyahara prayasascha prajalpa. Many kinds of prajalpa. Worldly talk that we have to give up. It is unfavorable for devotion. How we can do that? Not by becoming Mauna Brati, silent, but by speaking about Krishna, thinking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna. Then it is possible to control that prajalpa. Our Gurudev told, if you will not speak Harikatha, then surely you will speak worldly topics. Then how Krishna will come to your remembrance, to your memory, or to your thinking? It is impossible. Always you have to hear about Krishna and speak about him, not about other. And when Raghunath Das Goswami asked Mahaprabhu for some guidance, then Mahaprabhu told him, Gramya Vartana Shunive, Gramya Vartana Kohive. You don't speak these village worldly talks. Who is married with whom, who is divorced with whom, who got this child, who died, where war is going on, all these things. We are spending whole night if necessary, those topics, but have no time to chant Harinam, have no time to hear Harikatha. That is regrettable. So he told, don't hear Gramya Katha, these worldly things, and don't speak. And don't eat very opulent food, only what is necessary for your service of Krishna. Not try to enjoy the Prasad. We want to enjoy, so we make like big. We don't want to offer Krishna. That is not our main target, but we want to enjoy Prasad. So that is different. Madhavendra Puri offered to Krishna so many varieties, or Bhaktivinoda Puri offered Govardhan Puja like this, but he did not take all that feast, only his own prasad, what is necessary for his seva. So you should not dress also very nicely. Even our Bharati Maharaj told you should not have that dhoti with big border, that simple dhoti. And you, Mahaprabhu told him, you become like, don't desire any respect from anyone, and you offer due respect to all, and always chant Harinam. And within your heart, you always serve Radha Krishna in Vrindavan, in your Siddha Deho. That we have to do, not worldly talks. So tomorrow we'll hear further.